Welcome, everybody, to Taste Different Gaming News. What's in the news today? Well, Microsoft confirms first-party next-generation Xbox console and a deal with AMD and promises full backwards compatibility. All right, before we jump into it, make sure you hit like, share, subscribe, notifications, all those good buttons to help keep you up to date with everything we'd like to talk about, video games. All right, so let's jump in. Microsoft has announced a partnership with AMD to power the next generation of Xbox, including its first-party future Xbox console. Announcing that we are building the next generation of Xbox's first-party devices and cloud, including our future Xbox consoles together with AMD, Microsoft said in a statement and published it online. Microsoft failed to detail its plans, but it did promise next-level performance, cutting-edge graphics, breakthrough gameplay, and unmatched compatibility. It's also said everything it's working on will be fully compatible with users' existing Xbox game library. We've established a strategic multi-year agreement with AMD to co-engineer silicon across a portfolio of devices, including our next-generation Xbox console. Here's the business jargon. Together, we're developing deeper visuals, impressive gameplay, and AI-powered experiences, grounded in a platform designed for players not tied to a single store or device. Hear that words, people. And fully compatible with your existing Xbox game library. In a video, Xbox President Sarah Bond said Microsoft was investing in our next generation hardware lineup across console, handheld, PC, cloud, and accessories. The news confirms Microsoft's plan to release another home Xbox console as well as an Xbox handheld. No release date was mentioned, but Bond did say, "We can't wait to show you what's next." Yeah. So, there's a little more to it, but I think we pretty well hit the gist of it. So let's jump into this. There was a lot of keywords in there that I don't know how to feel about. So I'm going to jump over to Nick and let him kind of give what he thinks about it, because he sold his Xbox to get a Switch 2 because everything is an Xbox. Apparently his Switch 2 is as well. At least not yet, but it will be. So let's jump to Nick first. Nick, there was a lot of keywords in there that kind of concerned me, but you're the tech guys, so tell me what you think.
Which ones concern you?
Well, AI for one, but there's also where they talked about the not just limited to a single store.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, to me, hinting at a more PC console. You know, you'll be able to access Steam because you're going to be able to do that with your Asus Xbox ROG or whatever the hell that thing was called.
Right.
So, I mean, don't get me wrong. I like the ideal of being able to get my PlayStation or my Xbox, my Steam, and all that to one system. But guess what? I already do. It's called a computer. So,
right. I mean, I think that's primarily what they're doing here with this. I think what they're kind of going towards is not quite the Steam box, as far as like the steaming box, not the Steam box, but the streaming box. Sorry, stream and Steam. The streaming box that we had talked about before, where it's just a plain, does nothing but stream games, right? I don't think they're quite going in that direction yet. It sounds like what they're trying to develop here is more of a set-top box that is more in line with the ecosystem is going to be more in line with PC, whereas basically no matter where you access it, there's going to be one overall ecosystem for all of it, right? Whether it be on console or PC or whatever they decide to put it on next, meaning that you don't necessarily have to have an Xbox, right? I mean, you don't now, but I think they're trying to blur that line even more with the next Xbox, saying like, hey, if you don't have a high-end PC, great. We have this set-top box that you can sit here and you can plug it in and you can play your PC games and stuff. They even talked about like, there's been rumors for a while now about Steam integration into it and stuff like that. And so what I think they're looking at is kind of blurring the lines between PC and the console, where for those individuals that want kind of the ease of use of a console where they just plug it in and play it, they'll still have that functionality. But basically, no matter where you play it, be it on a PC, be it on that console, be it on the Rogue Ally, be it on your Samsung fridge, it'll all basically be the same throughout, right? As far as like, not necessarily graphical wise and stuff like that, but just the ecosystem, the environment, how you access it, the stuff you can access in it, how you purchase things, get stuff. It's all going to be an all-in-one inclusive system, no matter where you come from. Them partnering with AMD, that whole thing, like they've partnered with AMD since the Xbox original. So yay, I guess. They're still, it's not like a surprise thing. It's more of like, we're still partnering with the same people we've been partnering with for years. Like, okay. So yeah, I mean, I think that's what they're going with, right? For now, is they're not going to have a streaming. They might still have a streaming device, but I think the next Xbox, now that this is kind of talked about, I think the direction they're going is having a high end in more of a sense than a PC, but with an interface that's easy to use, right? That's still that plug and play type of interface. But no matter if you're doing it on a set-top box or if you're doing it on a PC, you basically, there's not going to be a difference between the two, right? Because if you go on the Xbox on the PC app, it is different than the console, app. But I think what they're going to do, I would say, and this is just all, theorizing and rabbit hole here, but I think what they're going to do is they're going to kind of just blur the line between the two. So whenever you load up Xbox on your console or on your PC or whatever, it's the same interface throughout the entire thing. It's your same account, your same achievements, your same games, no matter where you buy them. Because this is one thing they talked about too, was having everything be cross-buy, right? That was one thing they talked about in the Summer Game Fest. They wanted everything that's on their environment to be a cross-buy thing. And so what they want to do is they want you to be able to buy it, and no matter what you choose to play it on, be it a phone or the Xbox set-top box or PC or, like I said, your Samsung fridge at home, it's all going to be there no matter where you go, right? You can get your milk and play your Xbox. So I think that's the direction they're going. And don't be so mean to Sarah. She's cute for a corporate lady. But anyway, what do you think, Pat?
She's killing Xbox, dude. She's just shut.
Xbox has got an identity crisis going on right now, I feel. They lost the console wars, but not the gaming wars, right? They lost the battle, the console battle. Sony is taking that from them, and so is Switch. But as Sony has said, Switch is not their competition. Microsoft has always been. And it's just, yeah, I think it's just going to be just like the Rogue Ally. It's just going to be Windows 11 on the back end of the next Xbox, and it's just going to be a Windows OS with a game the game dashboard, right? The game board. So, because you technically have the game board built into Windows now. If you hit the Windows G, you get the game bar, right? And it has all the options for all that crap. But yeah, so I think that, the next generation of console for them is the one step closer to just being bargain bin PC. And what that means is that going to be a $700 Xbox? Probably. Especially because Nintendo proved that you can pump out you can ask $500 for a handheld. It's not got the power of the current gen console. And so Sony and Microsoft are going to see that and be like, well, I think I can get 6 or 7 for my next one, And at that point, in my opinion, there's no point in buying an Xbox if you got a PC. There's just no point. If you don't have a PC, that's the only reason you would buy an Xbox, in my opinion. Especially because they're blurring the lines, especially if you can get Steam on it and, you know, and Epic probably and everything else. It's a PC at that point. And if you have one of those already, then you don't really need. And in my opinion, with Microsoft putting everything out with no exclusive content, there is no point in getting an Xbox anymore. There's just not. I mean, I don't see the benefit of an Xbox anymore. Hence why Nick sold his, except for all the console only games cannot be played on the PC. Right. So that's the only reason to hold on to the Xbox. And that's the only reason I still have my Xbox, is because I can't play those games that are Xbox only. Now, if they come about and make this cross buy a reality and make it retroactive, then it'll be worth it. You know, and there has been some stuff going around. I think we did a discussion last week about some of the Xbox game library, Xbox library showing up on Xbox Game Pass PC, right?
And
Xbox
I
PC.
was just about to bring that up because
we chatted about that last week.
I can't say for sure, but it does look like my library has been updated on the Xbox dashboard. It looks like I got a few more on there. I can't say for sure because honestly, I don't open that up very often.
Right.
So
and there was rumors going around, or a talk going around. I don't think we discussed it, but that Microsoft was looking to, or was in the process of getting with like kind of what we talked about in the past, like emulator developers and ROM developers, to basically make a Xbox Classics that brings all the Xbox, kind of like what they did when they did the backwards compatibility thing, basically redoing that again, or bringing that back again, but in a more streamlined, like, hey, we have this whole like emulator with the games and they're enhanced, and a much easier process for them, because it was kind of a big process to do that. And I think they're looking to, it sounded like they were looking to kind of streamline that process so they could pump out the classic games, the entire library, essentially, or close to it, for that purpose. So then, like I'm saying, no matter where you are, PC or whatever, you're going to be able to play everything Xbox. Now, I don't know if that's going to be just cloud, or if you'll be able to install it, locally. Like, that's to be seen, right?
Yeah, because there's both sides of the coin, right? There's people are saying Microsoft has won up Sony with this, because now you can get Sony games that were never put on Xbox on their new Xbox, because it's going to be a PC, which has access to the Steam library, which Steam has some PlayStation games that aren't necessarily released on the Xbox. So, but at the same time, I see it as Microsoft losing their identity and abandoning the console side of it. And what that does to me is if Microsoft was the only person in the game, I would say, cool, more power to them. But they keep Sony in check at price wise for the console and things.
Yep.
And without them, Sony can then just say, well, if you want a PlayStation 7, it's $1,000. We don't care. Buy it or don't. We don't care. We're the only console left that's a true console. I don't see Nintendo as a true console. Nintendo's a handheld entertainment system. They got their own games and cool stuff, but they're not pumping out the next generation big dog games that are just graphics hogs and memory hogs and AAA. And if you're Ubisoft quadruple A games, so we're not playing those on the Switch. I'm not playing any Assassin's Creed Shadows on Switch 2, right? So
say what?
Right. So, I think that we as gamers are losing out in this scenario when Microsoft loses, with them losing their identity.
I couldn't agree more.
But it's what's happening. Microsoft has made a decision that they can't compete in the console market. And what they did to even the playing field, buy a shit ton of developers for $65 billion and just become a game developer / publishing company. Who has hardware recommendation, because it's probably going to come out to be like the next Xbox after this current one that's going to come out. It's going to be some iBuyPower Xbox, right? iBuyPower PCs has conglomerated with Microsoft to generate the next PC, right?
iBuyBox?
Yeah, I buy power. I buy box. Yeah.
I mean, there could be variations,
you buy box.
right?
That's the next thing. You buy box.
You buy box. They could be variations, right? Where they could have several SKUs, kind of like it would kind of go back to what I said at the beginning when I did the 40 and slip, the Steam boxes back in the day, right? They had those Steam PCs that did have different variations based on how much you wanted to price of it,
Dell or Lenovo or HP to make their version of the Xbox.
Or all of them.
Yeah.
Or all of them. Just say, hey,
make it open to like, hey, you can buy,
you can become third-party certified, right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, but that to me is Microsoft losing their console identity at that point, which they
honestly,
already are.
They've lost that a long time ago. But, here's what's funny is Microsoft is now really doing great with games. Now they're doing great with games, but they've lost basically any reason to have their consoles.
Yeah.
So it's like their biggest problem was games. That's why they lost the console war. But now they have the games, but no consoles.
Right. They didn't give their $65 billion purchase time to create fruition. They're just like, we spent $65 billion. Let's recoup that money fast and put this shit out everywhere.
Yeah.
And that's what they're doing. And I mean, to me, it makes sense. At the same time, because Sony should be doing the same thing. Instead of them pigeonholing their games to that PlayStation only, they need to push it out everywhere so they can make more money. But their sense is our games are console pushers. And I would agree with them. They make console pushing games.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely.
So, they've got the power behind it and they can keep doing it and they're going to keep doing it. So, but as soon as they release like their console pusher games, like the next, I don't know what, the next God of War, the next Horizon, if it comes out on everything day one, then people are going to be like, why do I need a PlayStation then? Yeah. I'll just pick where I prefer to play and only, PC. PC gets everything. So I'm going to go to PC now and stick with PC because that's technically where I live today mostly is PC. And then I run back to PlayStation for their exclusives. I don't turn on my Xbox anymore because they don't release anything that I don't get anywhere else.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, anything that we've been playing like on Game Pass is you're just playing on PC. And even I've been playing more on not more. I've been playing a little bit more on my PC, my Xbox games, just because, some of them just run and look better, but I'll still stream it. I'll still send it over to the TV because I just like the way my couch sits. But no, Microsoft, I'd like to see more about this because it is interesting to be able to. So like my kids, they have decent computers. Nicholas is a little bit older than everybody else's. So would I need to upgrade his PC or can I get him a decent Xbox/PC console for, a mid-range price, for a mid-range console, that I'd like to see. But the whole thing that really interests me out of all of this is the fact that it says fully compatible with users' existing Xbox game library. I really, really, really want to be able to play every Xbox game I have on disc, get it digital, whatever. I really want that because I have a lot of Xbox games, originals.
That's why I stuck with my Xbox for the longest time as my primary because I could buy physical. It's hard to come across PC physicals here in the US. I know it's still a big market in the UK and Europe and stuff like that. But here in the US, GameStop used to have like a small end cap of PC games. And now they don't even have that. You go in there now and you're like, can I get the latest, PC game? They're like, well, they don't print those. No, they don't manufacture that media anymore.
Yeah, they do. Remember, it's Grandma's Casino Royale.
Right.
Walmart has it.
Walmart always
has it. They have
it.
the old stuff. Walmart still has AOL CDs. Come on now.
True.
But yeah, so I mean, you really, outside of some small shops here in the US, PC games are not generally distributed. No. So if you want to collect the physical media, the console was the way to go, and Xbox was my console of choice. But now I'm like, whatever. I hate to say it, but I've given up on the physical media market because it's just too hit or miss. Like I'm like, ooh, my collection's starting to look good. I love this game, and they're not putting a physical media for it. Yeah, you have to do one of those. What's that company like Second Run or whatever that makes or the companies that make
limited runs.
Yeah, they make like a their own version, but it's not an official one, and you're just like,
Yeah.
you're like, come on, you guys are screwing my. And Nintendo was my holdout for that, but now that Nintendo with their Switch 2 has changed their stance on that, well, we're going to give you a cart with a code in it, and I'm like, that's what I hated what Sony did with my Horizon Forbidden West. I got a damn cart on a collector's edition with a code, and I'm like, no, I want the damn disc.
Yeah.
So what I have to do, I had to go out and wait for a super cheap sale on a PlayStation 5 version of the game, buy it
Just
from GameStop just to stick it into my collector's edition, because I'm like, I want the physical damn disc in that thing.
Yeah. I don't buy anything on PlayStation digital.
It's all physical.
Yep. Nintendo, they're starting to really push towards those damn codes in the carts, which is really irritating. I really, really hate that. And my Xbox, me and Nick have game shared for so long.
And that's why I bought a bunch of digital on that. Yeah.
Yeah. And, now that, Nick betrayed me and left me for dead in the ditch, I can start buying my games physical again for Xbox, while they last, because everybody's going digital, unfortunately. And, that's another good question though. Will the Xbox /PC have a disk drive? And if so, can I put a PC disc in it?
I mean, you could do that.
Can I put that Grandma's Casino in there? Like, I could put a freaking piece of bubble gum in there. It ain't going to read it, but
you could put in a GameCube game in there if you want. There's no guarantee that it won't go flying out the bag or something, but you can put that in there.
Oh my God. But if it worked though, I would just go crazy.
New Discovery Xbox plays GameCube games.
Yeah, but
the prices of those Xboxes would increase in crazy amount.
Oh yeah,
if that were the case,
definitely. And
like the old 360 found out it plays GameCube games, and it's like the price of the secondhand stores for those would be like triple the amount of money.
Oh yeah, but it would be great. It would be freaking great because I still have a 360. So, but no, it's no true information has been given. It's just their political businessy statement, and there's a lot
was
to
said
read
without
into
nothing being said, right?
Exactly.
A lot was said.
Yep.
It was basically we're still partnering with the same people we've been partnering with for years now.
Yeah, they basically recycled the Xbox 360 thing and just added, announcement, just added a few items. That's all.
All you can really gather from this is that Microsoft's going to be putting out another console. What kind of console?
Yeah.
Well, we've yet to see.
It's PC-ish.
Ish. Yeah.
Console
or is it just going to be a big old dongle?
The PlayStation 5 Pro is $700 new. So, the next Xbox and the next PlayStation, I would assume, are going to be more than that.
See, I don't know if I would say that, just because the PlayStation 5 Pro has not sold all that well. And I don't know what people.
But it really wasn't worth the extra $200.
Yeah, it wasn't worth the extra money.
Exactly.
But these are going to be more advanced than the last gen, compared to the upgrade that the 5 to the Pro was. It wasn't much of an upgrade. It was just like we put some racing stripes on it.
Will it really be more powerful, or will it just be AI powered?
Well, AI is going to have some stuff in there, probably for like dynamic resolution, upscaling, things like that. Yeah.
So I don't know. I just know it's too early to tell, but I don't have any hope for it. Not that I think it's going to be a bad console or anything, but Microsoft is not making decisions that I like as a gamer lately. I've loved some of these games coming out on the console and their PC, but I don't need them for the console if I could play it on the PC. And that's the reason I really don't have any hope for the console, because it kind of makes no sense. If you're a person that has a console and a PC and, a Switch and a PlayStation, you can definitely do without the Xbox if you've got a PC. And that price point, Nick, if you think it's going to be $7 or more, then I definitely wouldn't do that, because my PC is.
I would assume it's going to be. If the Pro is $700, then
Yeah, but part of that's Sony greed too, though. I mean, Sony really has become a greedy-ass company. Look how many
Xbox
times
might,
they've raised their prices.
yeah. I mean, so is Xbox though. They haven't lowered it, right?
No,
It's
they've
still the
never
same
lowered it.
price.
Yeah.
So I just don't. I think if Microsoft lowballs it, they'll lowball it to 7. But I think if Sony comes out with PlayStation 6, it's going to be past that 700 price point. It wouldn't make sense for them to put out an even beefier system at the same or lower price than their Pro.
What did the PS4 Pro come out? Do you remember?
When did it come out?
No, price. What was the price on that? Was it
It
$499?
was $399. It was $399.
$399, really?
Yep. The PS4 launch. Well, that's PS4. I thought it was $399, but maybe it wasn't.
No, I was thinking. So
The 1 terabyte. Oh.
Yeah, $399 US. Yeah. That was the release of the PS4 Pro price.
So they almost doubled that price for the 5 Pro.
Well, I mean, but the PS5 was $499, right? So it was $100 more. So if Nick's trajectory is right, then we'll see an $800 because it's $699 for the PS5 Pro, right? $699 or $799?
Yeah.
So,
$699.
so we'll see $799. So it'll be $800 console if it holds true.
Yeah, if is true. But, you know, with all the AI stuff that everybody's touting and how it'll help keep things, blah, blah, blah.
If it's good.
Yeah.
Ifs and buts, you know?
Ifs and buts
and coconuts.
I couldn't remember what the last part was. I knew there was a nut in there.
Ifs, if it's and buts were candy and nuts. That's what you're thinking of.
That's it. All right. Well, you heard it here, folks. Candies and nuts.
Heard it here first.
All right. You guys got anything else on this? All right. Well, let us know what you think in the comments below. Let us know. Do you agree with Microsoft going ahead and putting out another console? Do you think it's worth it for them? Do you think their strategy is kind of what we're thinking? Let us know in the comments below. Let us know if you think they could redeem themselves in the console war with what they've kind of described in this statement. I mean, it's all possible. I mean, you know, Sony's biggest competitor is them because they usually shoot themselves in the foot for some reason. So, you know, they give Sony or Microsoft a chance, but we'll have to just wait and see. But don't worry, Game Pass will be on Switch too and PlayStation eventually anyways, I think so. But let us know in the comments below what you think about all this and if you're excited. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, notifications, all those good buttons. I hope to keep you up to date. And we'll see you next time. See ya.